Alright guys, so here's just a quick view of my attempt at making a metal geared Sumo Crawler transmission and I guess a transfer case at the same time. These are the metal gears. Of course I got the idea from using the servo motor for the original Sumo setup. But now I'm going to try and actually use the servo itself, the whole thing, to run the drive shafts for the Sumo Crawler. So you can see the whole thing kind of resembles the way the transmission and transfer case is set up on your Sumo Crawler. What I've done is I've taken the case out of the servo. I've actually drilled through the main gear and ran a 3mm bolt through it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the edges of it and have just enough to where I could attach the drive shafts to them. Now this way you have power coming off both sides of the servo. I'm going to show you in a little bit this whole thing running once I wired it up. But in effect what you're doing is you're just transferring power from the both sides of this servo, so you can run front and rear drive shafts. Alright, now give me 1 second, let me wire this up and I'll show you guys how it runs, okay? Alright, so here's the transmission actually going through its paces. So you can see you got power coming off both sides. That's with metal gears. And the reason it's going so slow is because of course I use the metal gears of a high torque servo, which is geared down a lot, but a faster servo would yield a faster movement of the transmission, of course. So I'm going to try and set the drive shafts on this guy just to see how it fits and how it moves everything inside the Sumo itself, and hopefully it works out. Once that works out, then I'll get another servo transmission and make it a little bit faster so that it'll actually work on the Sumo. But as far as the theory goes and will it work, if you got some modding skills, yes, it will work. Will it be better? Well, considering that you have the metal gears, I will say yeah, it would be better. And I don't see a way that you'll be able to break these, not with this size motors. Now, of course, you can get really fast motors attached to this thing now because, you know, it's got the metal gears, so I might actually be able to use bigger and stronger motors. Of course, that's if the ESC can handle it. If not, I could always keep this, and like I said, just change the ratio on the gear itself. Now he's trying to walk. Alright, so that's my Sumo Crawler transmission walking along. It's I mean, if it can walk, it should be able to crawl as well. So, there you go, guys. If anybody wants to try this out, kind of go ahead and do so. There'll be more of us working towards making a better Sumo Crawler. So, it's kind of funny, I didn't think it would do this. Alright, hope you enjoy. I don't want to cut the video yet because this is funny, so enjoy. Alright, so just to kind of give you an idea of sizes in regards to the Sumo and transmission. We'll put this, come on guy, help me out here. So we'll go kind of like so, and there. Now it fits nice and tight in there. Motor's going to be facing backwards instead of forward, which is not really a biggie. It's actually going to be a little bit better because it'll sit further away from the links. As you can see, the front one sits really close to the links, so it kind of limits as to how much you can have the crawler droop. Not that it's too far from the ground already as it is, but you know, depends on how you guys want to run it. but it'll clear a little bit better those links. Now, being that it's thin too, I might be able to actually put it leaning more towards one side than the other, instead of just having it in the middle. That way it cleans up a lot more room for us to put another battery in there. That's considering that you're going LiPo and you want to put the battery inside the body and not on top of the servos. I don't like to put the battery on top of the servos. I think it looks whack. But this would open up a lot more space for us to put a bigger battery in there. Something bigger than a 250. More than likely you might be able to go to 300 milliamp hours. But that, if you were to put it more towards one side than the other, then of course the shafts will also move to the side, which means we might have to look into getting longer shafts. But trail trekkers, I guess, will have longer shafts that we could use. But I don't know. I'm gonna start tinkering with it. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see if it works out. You know, it'll be the first metal geared Sumo Crawler out there, unless you guys beat me to the punch. Alright, hope you enjoy.